Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Worth Your Time. I'm Jared. That's Ben,
Hello.
and we just watched Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah, we did.
Now, Ben, we're all caught up with the Ghostbusters movies, with the new one being out in theaters right now, this being the most recent release. Besides that, I gotta know, what were your thoughts?
My thought. Okay, I love this movie.
Yes!
Okay, I think. Okay, when we watched the first movie, I was like, "Oh, it's overrated." Now I kind of want to go back and watch it.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, I've got bit by the bug, man. Like I'm just there's a whole vibe to it. There's a whole like feel and just like I don't know, sort of like a scrappy kind of feel to like these movies. I don't know.
yeah.
It's fun and like interesting and just cool. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It just grabs you. You don't expect it, but it does. It's like a ghost.
Ooh.
Like, ooh.
No, I'm the same way, man. I love this movie. I feel like this did kind of like a Force Awakens almost, kind of like handled it like that. Took the original story and kind of did it again, but in a different way. And then also brought back the old characters and everything like that. And it just, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it was great.
What
And
one?
even though I didn't grow up with this, I still felt the nostalgia just from watching the other movies. It's like, man, this gives me goosebumps, man.
Yeah, yeah. One thing that I mentioned while we were watching it actually was like the style was very much the same. Like the animations, like when the people turned into the dogs, was very much how they did it back then. It wasn't like super like new CGI. I liked how they kind of kept that sort of cheesy look to it because it felt real. Is not the right word. It felt Ghostbusters-y. It felt like it was in that universe. It felt better than if they like did like a super advanced version.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
belonged.
Well, yeah, them doing the practical effects for like the dogs and stuff, I thought looked great. Like
Yeah,
really, like they didn't use the same practical effect that they used back in the 80s, but just an updated
yeah,
version, and it just
yeah.
I don't know. I loved it.
I
Um
loved all the details. It was I don't know. It was weird at places like why there's like this weird 80s aesthetic going on in a modern day scenario. I don't know why
yeah.
there's like a like what is it like the diner just the roller skate diner. I don't know what that's
Yeah.
called.
I think it's just a roller skate diner. I don't know.
It's weird.
Uno momento. We're gonna cut this out. What's up? Yep, it's cool. What's up? Okay, I'll come out and talk to you. Anyway, back to it now. um, I gotta know, what do you think about like the new characters and stuff? Because I know some people have some issues with them, but I like them. I like them all.
Okay, here's the thing. At first, it felt like that Trevor was going to be the main character. The way they kind of like kept focusing on him, I
Hmm.
was so glad he wasn't. It was the girl. What's her name? I can't remember. Oh, no, Phoebe. Is that her name? Phoebe.
PB, yeah,
Phoebe. I liked her. She was
I liked her a
awesome,
lot.
and
She was great.
I'm glad they followed her as the main character. Kind of like how Peter Venkman was the main character
Hmm.
in like the original ones. They didn't like they danced around a little bit, but they mainly stuck with one character. And I like her character a lot. I don't
Yeah,
care for Trevor. He seems like a bit of a douchebag, and honestly,
yeah. Well,
like
I feel like for the first half, I kind of felt that way, but like the second half, once he's like hanging out with Phoebe and stuff, and they're like doing that together, I liked him more.
yeah. What did you think of what's his face? The teacher.
Gary,
Yeah,
Gary Gooberman or whatever.
Gary Cooperman.
I love Gary. I feel like takes the audience role, like he knows the Ghostbusters. He's like, oh yeah, like how do you not hear about this stuff from the 80s and stuff? And then just like, he's like a little fanboy over it, like when he sees the ghost trap for the first time and stuff. But I don't know. I love Paul Rudd, so I'm kind of biased, but I did really like his character.
Yeah, I liked it too. I felt like I wanted to see more of him,
Hmm.
but honestly, there was enough characters on screen as is. We'll probably see more of them in this next the newer movie, which I haven't
Yeah.
seen. You've seen it, right?
Uh, no, I haven't yet. So
It's out, right? I thought it was out.
it is out. It came out
Okay.
last weekend. I'm really tempted. I really want to go see Kung Fu Panda 4 and then like see this. I want to do like a little double feature or something. But I don't
Maybe,
know.
maybe.
Maybe. um
Hmm.
Also podcast. I liked podcast.
What is that man's real name? His name is
Who
his
cares, man?
podcast. Who
Legally
cares?
podcast.
He's like, oh, my one subscriber, it's you. That's like
Okay,
us.
before we get to that, um, I want to get into some spoilers. So,
Okay.
worth your time? I
Of
think
course,
totally.
yes. Yeah, it's worth your
I
time.
think I think definitely this movie's worth your time.
Definitely worth it. Even if you're not a big Ghostbusters person, this is a lot more digestible for a newer crowd, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. It like you don't need to have seen the other ones to go into this. Like
But
it kind of yeah.
I think it still makes you interested in what the old ones might be, and actually might make you want to go back to the old ones because it does incorporate enough of them into this.
Yes, yes, exactly.
All
Now,
right, spoilers.
how do you feel about them treating the fact that Harold Ramis, Egon, died in real life?
I
Because
mean
I
it.
feel like they treated it really tastefully and well done.
Well, I mean it. It kind of. They're like, okay, this guy's dead. How do you portray him? Portray him as a ghost.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, how else you gonna like? That's like the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, just some people feel like, bringing people back after they're dead in real life, and like putting them on screen somehow. It's like kind of disrespectful, but I feel like if it's done well, if it's done tastefully and respectfully, because he wrote the original script with someone else for the original Ghostbusters. So this was
Hmm.
like his baby, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like he would have thought this was well done, you know? And I don't think he would have objected to it at all.
Well, I feel like he is such a pivotal character to like this
Hmm.
whole series. I mean, he like invents all the gadgets and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it would kind of be weird, almost weird not to see him. I feel like it would still work without him there, but there was a bit more impact and a bit more like, oh, just like I don't know, just
Yeah.
like I said, impact that he was there. And I thought it was interesting how he didn't talk. And
Yes.
honestly, that I think that's a better choice than having him talk
Yeah, I do too.
because it's like up to interpretation, and a lot of times ghosts or just like the idea of a spirit or whatever, they don't typically just outright talk to you.
Yeah.
A lot of times people tell stories that they helped me at this, they touched me, yada yada yada. It did all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I mean, why he? It feel weird if he did talk, honestly.
Yeah. No, I loved it. And it pulled at my heartstrings too. Like I said, I didn't grow up with these movies, but like I don't know. It was really touching.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it left my. What was I gonna say? It just left what I was gonna say. Hey, you go. I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, I was also gonna say I love the way they handled the other three Ghostbusters coming back into it. And even like
Oh,
seeing Sigourney Weaver at the very end, I forget her name in the original. But then, and also seeing Melnitz in the very beginning of the movie, I was like, "Oh, Melnitz!"
I was
But
gonna say the bit where Egon shows up and they all like slowly look at him like one after the other is like, what the heck?
yeah,
like, like, what the heck is going on?
yeah. And
Oh my goodness.
one thing I also really liked was Ray and Phoebe's phone call while Phoebe was in
Yeah.
jail. That was a
Hmm.
really good moment. Like just him like explaining what happened and stuff. Like I feel like that gave her some closure. And I don't know. I really liked that moment.
What'd you think of the end credit scene?
That's what I was literally about to bring up the same thing. I think that leaves off perfectly for this next one.
Yeah,
Like,
because the question is, what did happen to that? Because it was
yeah,
just left there.
yeah,
Like, and like the first movie, they like shut it down, all that stuff happened.
the
Then the
reactor,
second
yeah.
movie, and then the second movie, they're back being Ghostbusters. So what did happen to that reactor?
Yeah.
That sort of prison or whatever.
But then
So
also with Winston, being like a successful businessman and him getting back into this, of course he might be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll fund this. I'll help this out. And so that solves the money problem. And I think
yeah,
it
yeah.
was well done in that way. Like it got
Oh
me
yeah,
hyped at the end credits. Like I'm like, man, I kind of want to just like go out and see the new one real quick.
yeah. I do. I'm like, I wish I had a day off sooner.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just want to go
exactly.
see it. Oh, smack myself with my microphone. Okay.
Okay, but I'm ready to rate it if you are.
Yes, I'm ready. You
Okay,
go ahead.
so I'm gonna give this a solid 8 out of 10.
8. Okay. Okay.
I think this is a great movie. It's fun. It's a little slow in some parts, but I have a blast with this movie. I love it.
I think I'm. If you weren't like a fan of Ghostbusters, I'd feel like this is probably like a 7.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, if you look at it, it is kind of silly and stupid and simplistic in ways. But at the same time, it is a Ghostbusters movie, and you can't just be like ignore that fact.
Yeah,
So, as just like a movie by itself with no other pretext or context, 7. But as like a Ghostbusters movie, it's like a freaking 9 or something.
yeah, a 9.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's pretty good. I mean, out of the
okay,
ones
dude.
I've seen so far, I mean, like,
Yeah,
like come on. It's like I don't know. I don't know. It's some things you just like you enjoy it more because of what it is.
yeah, exactly. And hearing that theme song again at the end, right at the end credits, I was like,
Oh,
yeah, boy.
I was looking. I thought so much that they were gonna have like a remix version of that somewhere in like like when they're hitting their pace. I would have
Yeah,
thought we would have heard it somewhere within the movie, not just at the end. I was a
yeah,
little disappointed in that, but whatever.
yeah.
It
But
is
it
what it
hit.
is.
It hit at the end. I
It
was
did.
like,
It
okay,
did.
yeah,
We sat
yeah.
there, listened to the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, Ben, are you ready to know what we're watching next?
We are watching. Wait, we're still in Godzilla.
Yeah,
Wait, no. Yeah, I was gonna say we just watched Kung Fu Panda. I think it's supposed to. So it's now the
Godzilla,
King of Monsters,
King
right?
King of the Monsters. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that one, we'll see. We'll watch it,
I don't.
and
Apparently,
I don't know
okay.
how you're gonna feel about it. I mean, you
Apparently,
might
you
love
don't
it.
like it very
You
much.
you might love it, but I'm just gonna have to go with it.
God dang